In this video, I'm going to react to the top 10 tallest basketball players in NBA history. Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Kabir Considers. This is the place where I react to music, media, sports, anime, anything related to popular culture. I'll watch it with an open mind and give you my 100% honest reaction to it. And if you could please hit that like button early, I'd really appreciate it. Now, first things first, I want to say a huge congratulations to the Milwaukee Bucks for getting it done. You know, a big congratulations to Giannis and the crew. I believe they were 2-0 down or 2-0 down in the series at one point, and they came all the way back and won it 4-2, I think. Just an unbelievable job. Really, congratulations. I imagine it must feel so vindicating for Bucks fans out there, because you know the Bucks, I feel like they're a team who they don't have a lot of stars. They have Giannis, they have a few good players, but they're not one of those teams like the Nets that are clearly trying to stack, you know, a kind of a superstar team. So big congratulations to Giannis and the Bucks. Well done, guys, you deserve it. Now, this is going to be a fun video just because as someone who's still relatively new to the NBA, I know that, you know, players like Shaquille O'Neal, I believe he's 7'2". He's got to be one of the tallest players, if not the tallest player ever in the league, right? But you know, who else makes up that group, that elite group? Because you know, the NBA is like, on average, the athletes in the NBA are definitely the tallest on the planet. So, you know, who is the tallest of the tall, if you know what I mean, right? So this video, thanks to whoever recommended this one to me, because this is definitely something that I could easily watch in my spare time. Just that cool sort of like trivia sort of thing, if you know what I mean. So let's go. This is going to be me reacting to the top 10 tallest players in NBA history. Let's do it.
When an average person stands next to a basketball player, they often feel like a dwarf. The average NBA player is 6 feet 7 inches tall.
I mean, look at this. Like, when you see NBA players standing next to like normal sized people, it really puts into perspective how big these guys are, man.
But when those 6'7" guys stand next to these guys on this list, they also feel belittled. Here are the top 10 tallest players in NBA history. Boban Marjanovic, 7 feet 4 inches.
So hold on a minute. He's number 10 on the list, and he's 7 feet 4. So that means that Shaq isn't even going to make the list. What?
Boban Marjanovic is one of the most popular role players in the NBA today.
He's dunking without even being in the air. This is just absolutely insane.
Even though he looks like a bouncer in front of a Russian mob club, Boban became a fan favorite because he's the biggest kid on the court. You can often see Boban smiling and cracking jokes on the bench, or fetching balls when nobody else can do it. Unfortunately, he spends most of his time on the bench, as he's averaging less than 10 minutes per game in action. And it's not because Boban can't play. When he was coming to the NBA, he was regarded as one of the best centers in Europe, with multiple regional MVPs and all EuroLeague first-team selections. Because of different rules in European basketball, Boban was able to stay parked in the paint and dominate the game from the inside. In the NBA's pace and space era, he's constantly forced to run after smaller players, which doesn't play into his strengths. If he played 20 or 30 years ago, he would probably be one of the best centers in the league. Today, he's not playing much. But which other centers can claim that they kicked Keanu Reeves' ass in John Wick 3?
Oh yeah, I knew I recognized him from a movie. I really feel like Boban, like there must be a way to incorporate him into modern basketball. I mean, this guy must just be unstoppable in the paint, right? There's gotta be a way.
Bhullar, 7 feet 5 inches. Bhullar is a Canadian professional basketball player and the first player of Indian descent that played in the NBA. And as you might have guessed, Bhullar is really tall, standing at 7'5", and with a listed weight of 360 pounds. After 2 years at Mexico State, He declared for the 2014 NBA draft, where he went undrafted. But because the owner of the Sacramento Kings, Vivek Ranadive, is also Indian, the Kings picked him to play in their summer league team, mostly for marketing reasons. However, Sim eventually made the roster on a 10-day contract. He played in 3 total NBA games and 3 total minutes.
3 minutes, wow. I feel, but he looked pretty good with the ball in hand. This is the thing, if you can get him the ball and he's in the paint, who's going to guard him? Who's going to guard a 7'5" guy?
Pavel Podkolzin, 7 feet 5 inches. Similarly to Sim Bhullar, Pavel Podkolzin was another guy that didn't play much in the NBA. But because of his short stint with the Mavericks and his height of 7'5", he's a member of our list. Pavel started his career in the Russian 2nd Division and also played in Italy before declaring for the NBA draft in 2004. He actually got drafted pretty high, with the 21st pick by the Utah Jazz, who traded him to the Mavs on draft night. He ended up playing 6 games for Dallas, for a total of 28 minutes and 4 points. He's still a professional player and plays in Russia.
Okay.
Chuck Nevitt, 7 feet 5 inches. Unlike his two
A lot of 7'5"ers on the
7'5" NBA counterparts, Chuck Nevitt had a significantly longer NBA career. However, his minutes average looks similar to those of Bhullar and Podkolzin. Even though Nevitt stayed on the NBA rosters for 9 seasons, he played in only 155 games, with the average time of 5 minutes on the court. Despite the lack of playing time, he was a very popular player in his playing days, as many people wanted to stand in his presence and feel really small, which is a virtue of all players on this list. Nevitt won the title with the Lakers in 1985.
Oh, nice. So he got a ring. That's awesome. He got a ring.
Despite not playing a single minute of the postseason. Regardless of that, he's the tallest player ever with a championship ring, which is a quiz-worthy fact to remember. Shawn Bradley, 7 feet 6 inches. Standing at 7'6".
Gosh, seeing him stand next to this guy here, I believe he's the NBA commissioner. Just look at this. There's got to be at least 2 feet of difference here. So this guy's got to be maybe 5'6". He just looks so huge, man.
Bradley was the 3rd tallest player to ever run on the NBA hardwood and instantly became a household name. It's hard not to notice a 7'6" guy, but Bradley was also a decent player, a premier shot blocker. He once blocked 14 shots in an NCAA game, which is a record that stands to this day. Bradley was also attempting to swat anything near the rim, but unfortunately for him, this also turned him into a poster boy for being posterized. Due to his size and somewhat nerdy looks, he was a target for most athletic wings who wanted to get a 7'6" guy on a poster. Bradley was drafted in Philadelphia, but left the biggest mark in Dallas, where he played for 9 seasons. He was averaging 8.1 points, 6.3 rebounds, and 2.5 blocks for his career, and remained a known figure among basketball fans worldwide. You may also remember him from Space Jam, where he starred alongside Michael Jordan and was one of the players whose talents were stolen by the Monstars.
I'm ashamed to say that I haven't seen Space Jam. Guys, do I need to watch Space Jam? I think there's a new one coming out with LeBron in. I think that's coming out like this year or something. Should I watch the old Space Jam? Let me know in the comment section.
Yao Ming, 7 feet 6 inches. Yao is the best player on this list, the biggest Asian basketball star of all time, and one of the biggest ambassadors of the sport, literally. Yao Ming's parents were one of the tallest people in China, both former basketball players. Under the socialist regime of Mao Zedong, they were almost forced to marry and produce offspring. His mom was 6 feet 3 inches tall, and his father was 6'7". Yao was a government project in the making.
Wow, oh my God, he was just destined to be huge. Destined.
Since before he was born, and he was expected to be tall. However, nobody really thought Yao was going to be 7'6". Young Yao was pushed to play basketball, and even though he wasn't any good at first and didn't like basketball, countless hours of training and his freakish height enabled him to dominate the Chinese league. He was selected number 1 overall in the 2002 NBA draft by the Houston Rockets, and instantly became a global phenomenon. Because of his height and over 1 billion Chinese fans, Yao was immediately one of the most popular players in the game, with a horde of reporters following his every giant footstep. But it wasn't all just height and hype, which some people soon realized. Yao could really ball, and was extremely skillful for a player of his dimensions, with an array of post moves and a silky smooth jump shot. He became one of the best centers in the league, if not the best, when he was healthy. Unfortunately, he was rarely healthy, and his feet and knees couldn't support his large frame at the brutal NBA pace, which forced him to retire at the age of 30. He averaged 19.
Wow, 30. He retired young. Because you've got guys, like LeBron, who I think he's like 36 or something, 37, and he's still playing.
Points, 9 rebounds, and 2 blocks per game, and was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2016. He will be remembered as the biggest and the greatest Asian player of all time, and the only guy who makes Shaq look small.
Crazy.
Slavko Vranes, 7 feet 6 inches. Slavko Vranes is a Montenegrin basketball player who had a long-lasting basketball career that stretched over 20 years. With his height of 7'6", it's easy to conclude why he started a professional career at the age of 17, when he signed for Turkish Efes Pilsen. With the emergence of Yao Ming, who got drafted the year before, the Knicks rolled the dice on him and drafted him with the 39th overall pick in the 2003 NBA draft. They soon realized he's not Yao, and Vranes didn't end up playing a single minute for the Knickerbockers, as they waived him at the middle of the season. After he cleared waivers, the Trailblazers had signed him to a 10-day deal.
So when somebody is waived, does that just mean that they're kind of almost like fired, like almost just dismissed from the team? Like, let me know, please, in the comment section.
He got the opportunity to play in 1 game for them, for a total of 3 whole minutes. In case you were wondering, he didn't score, but due to his height, he scored a place on our list. Tacko Fall, 7 feet 6 inches. Another member of the 7'6" club.
Look at him just palming those basketballs. His hands must be bloody enormous.
Joined the NBA this year. Of course, we're talking about Tacko Fall, who plays for the Boston Celtics. Tacko was born in Dakar, Senegal in 1995 and moved to the USA at the age of 16. It was at the time when social media was booming, so if you're a hoops fan, the chances are that you heard about Tacko some 7 to 8 years ago when he was a high school junior, grabbing the rim with his feet planted firmly on the ground. Even though many scouts doubted that he would ever become an NBA player, Tacko drew extreme interest from colleges and ended up at the University of Central Florida, where he stayed for a full 4 years. Tacko's pretty raw basketball skills improved over time and became one of the best defensive players in college basketball, and won AAC Defensive Player of the Year in 2017.
Oh, wow. So he's actually a pretty good player then. Like, I believe, is he still on the roster for the Celtics now? I think he is. I hope he makes it.
Helped his school win the first game ever in the March Madness tournament. Fall declared for the 2019 draft, where he set up records for height, wingspan, and standing reach at the draft combine. However, he didn't get picked in the draft. Instead, the Boston Celtics signed him to a 10-day contract, which enabled him to play Summer League for them, where he did good enough to make the roster for the season on a 2-way contract. Fall made his debut for the Celtics on October 26th during a game against the New York Knicks, and became a fan favorite in Boston, who often chant his name to get him some playing time. Manute Bol, 7 feet 7 inches. Every time I'm in a jam, I always find a loophole. I got a crime record longer than Manute Bol, ramped Big L in his hit record MVP.
That's a bar.
While Manute Bol wasn't an MVP on the floor, he was often mentioned in rap lyrics and starred on the front covers of magazines.
God! Is this photoshopped? Man, this guy comes up to his waist. Is he an actual professional basketball player? He's literally at eye level with his waist. My mind is legitimately blown right now.
What he lacked in quality, Manute had in quantity. Standing at 7'7", he was the tallest player ever at the time he got to the league. And that's what propelled his status in pop.
Look, the limbs. I know I'm pausing this a lot, guys. I'm just in shock right now. The limbs are so long.
Culture. Born in South Sudan, which is on average the tallest country in the world, with the average height being over 6 feet, Manute was the tallest of the tall. And it wasn't just that Manute was tall, it was the way he was built as well that visually prolonged his already extremely long limbs. Manute weighed only 220 pounds, which made him stand out even more and also diminished his impact on the court. He was often bullied by physically stronger opponents, as most centers and power forwards weighed from 240 pounds upwards. Manute wasn't exactly very skilled either, and he averaged a mere 2.6 points for his career. However, despite a lack of production on offense, Bol was one of the best shot blockers the league has ever seen. And that's why he was able to stay in the NBA for 10 years, with 624 games played. He averaged 3.3 blocks per game, which is the second highest block average ever, and is the only player who has more blocked shots than points in his career.
Second highest block shots average ever. Wow. That's a big legacy. Fair play to him.
A great humanitarian off the court, he will always be remembered by NBA fans as the Jolly Big Giant, and a metaphor for extremely long things. George Muresan, 7 feet 7 inches. When you're tall enough to peek over bathroom stalls, the chances are that you'll become either an NBA player or make people really uncomfortable from time to time. George Muresan did both. Chris Webber told this bathroom prank story when he was a Muresan teammate in Washington and described George as one of his funniest teammates. A Romanian center, born in Transylvania, didn't project to be tall, as his mother was 5'7" and his father was just 5'9". But because of a condition with his pituitary gland, young George kept on growing until he finally got to 7'7", which made him the tallest NBA player ever, along with Manute Bol, who was even his teammate for a short stint.
No way. So they were both on the same team. Imagine seeing those guys run towards you. You'd be like, ah!
Raw and awkward when he first came to the league at the age of 22. Muresan didn't get much playing time in the first 2 seasons. However, when he became a permanent starter in his 3rd year, George turned into a solid contributor, averaging 14.5 points, 9.6 rebounds, and 2.3 blocks, while leading the league in field goal percentage.
These pictures are... Oh, man. Oh, the height difference.
This earned him the award for the most improved player in 1996. He led the league in field goal percentage the following year, until a back injury sidelined him for the whole 97-98 season, and all but 1 minute of the next one. After his recovery and acting debut alongside Billy Crystal and My Giant, Muresan finally came back in the 1999-2000 season, but he was only able to play 30 games for the Nets before calling it quits because of the foot, knee, and back issues, which are common for basketball players of that stature. He remained a fan favorite in Washington, where he still lives today with his family.
That's awesome. Man, that was just fascinating. It's just, you know, like when you see those numbers or when they're told to you, they don't sound that big. Obviously 7'5" does sound big, but I mean, like, it's not until you see that, you know, next to someone who's of average height, are you really like, whoa. Like, I mean, Manute Bol, like, his arms literally were longer than most people, like, most people's bodies entirely. It just, that picture where he was stood next to, I think it was maybe the point guard for his team, and the point guard came up to his waist, and point guards are typically between, what, 6 foot and 6'4", 6'3"? It's just absolutely insane, just absolutely incredible. Just wow. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, turn on bell notifications, and keep throwing the recommendations my way. I know I say it all the time, but they genuinely help me out, because if I know you enjoyed watching something, I'll definitely enjoy reacting to it. So like, subscribe, turn on bell notifications, keep throwing the recommendations, and I'll catch you in the next one.